The Zorro Circle. Limiting your focus to small, manageable goals can expand your sphere of power.
When we're feeling overwhelmed, that's usually because our brains are overloaded with information. Maybe it's overloaded with worry or with stresses, with all the tasks we feel like we have to do in our lives. So one of the things I actually have people do is when they feel overwhelmed is to actually just write out a list of all the things that they're stressed or worrying about. And then to circle the things that they actually could control. Then pick one action that you know you could do to decrease your stress on one of those. As you start to do that, your brain actually starts to think not about how overwhelmed it is, but about that one activity that could move you forward. And in doing so, you'll find that you actually have the energy to tackle some of those other tasks. But if your goal is too big, it'll actually shut off your brain because your brain doesn't know, how do I accomplish this goal today? That goal is way too big. So what I do on those really large goals is we take something called the Zorro circle, which is we actually shrink it down to the smallest possible circle we know we could be successful in. I know I can accomplish this task today. And as soon as your brain accomplishes that small task, your brain records a victory. Once you've recorded a victory, it makes the next step easier and then the next step easier. And what we find is you can actually accomplish those huge, audacious goals you've set for yourself by initially starting with the smallest manageable action that you can do.
If you look at it as a whole, I'm never going to be able to do this. That's kind of like a self-fulfilling prophecy. You think you're not going to be able to, and you're overwhelmed. And that's how I felt before. But I love this, that you take a small section of it and you just work on that. And then when that's done and you're ready to go a little further, then, you go a little further. But that is my favorite one. And for some reason, it's just easy for me to visualize the small, do it small, and just take it one step at a time.
You don't bite off more than you can chew. You take little pieces at a time, and when you do that, you can achieve the goal that you have your eyes and hopes set on.
I've also been using the Zorro circles and realizing that even if a problem doesn't seem that big, there's a reason that I have a barrier to being able to accomplish a goal. So by making the goal even smaller, maybe then I can accomplish it.
But looking at the Zorro principle, focusing on one thing at a time, getting that accomplished, having success with that, one thing and then moving on to a larger is very important also for people with MS, because we do feel overwhelmed with all the things that we have going on.